Yeah, as Lisa notes there in the chat, also spring practice gets underway in about a week.
Yeah, a week from today, we do not have our schedule yet, but once we get it, Mark, we'll start scheduling shows because who knows when we're going to be out there with this new schedule. Looking forward to it. We'll get the roster here in maybe a week as well, and we'll find out, who's ballooned up in weight and who's lost weight and who's taller and who's shorter and all of those good things. New numbers. It's very much like Steve Martin in The Jerk when the new phone book would come out. He'd get all excited. That's how I am with the new roster every spring.
Whew, that's a reference going back. Okay. Do you have a most important camp for anyone in particular?
That was one of the things that we that was like a recent show we did, and the first player that I mentioned that I went with was Julian Sand on offense, because he is the favorite, so you better operate like it. And if you're not, if you don't want to start losing ground right away in the spring, so I think this is a huge opportunity for him to gain ground and to make his mark, because they're going to get so many reps, so he's going to have an opportunity to just show and reiterate what everybody already knows about him. So you don't want to see any step back. So I think that's one for me. Also, like a Mylan Graham could step up. Carnell Tate is not going to be practicing much. Jeremiah Smith is not going to be practicing much. So those two outside guys aren't going to really be out there all that much. So this is an opportunity for Mylan Graham to establish himself and maybe move up to, being like that fourth guy, but not just the fourth guy who actually plays and maybe plays as much, or probably would want to play more than Brandon Ennis did last year as that fourth guy. Not that Mylan Graham would be in the slot, but just having a fourth guy that can come in, because Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate can both play the slot. They don't need Mylan Graham to do that, but I think this is a big one for him. And then anybody on the offense you want to throw in there, yes, it's big for them as well. The offensive line, rather.
Steve, any thoughts on anyone that needs to step up, whether that's a young player or a guy that's been around? Those guys aren't as common as they used to be because they usually leave or one way or the other.
Yeah, there's a lot of players on the spot. Arvell Reese, I think at linebacker, needs to show he's an every down player. Jermaine Matthews at corner needs to show he's an every down player. Up front on the defensive line, everybody wants to anoint certain guys, Edric Houston, Caden McDonald, whoever it may be. Well, during this next 4 weeks, you have to go out there on a day-by-day basis and have one good practice day on top of another and show the coaches that you're consistently one of the best 11 players on defense, and that's how you win a job. So to me, all those guys we talked about, plus Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, CJ Hicks moving to defensive end, they're all under a microscope this spring to show that they can do it over the course of time, which is the ultimate thing. Everybody can have one great day or one great game, but obviously the coaches are going to trust the people who are consistently the best. And I don't think playing time happens by any type of an accident. I think it's the guys who the coaches know and believe are the best players. So offensive line, there's going to be a lot of mixing and matching done. As he said, Sierraveld possibly tackle, possibly guard. You never know where he's going to end up. And again, get the best five guys on the offensive line together, build that cohesive unit, and go out and whip people. That's what this whole thing's all about. So that's what we want to see this spring, is that unit continue to grow and build. James Peoples, obviously, same thing. Mylan Graham and Brandon Ennis, same thing. You need to go out. You want to be an every down player. You need to go out and earn it. And I think that's what a lot of these guys are going to try and do this spring.